Was good, y'all? Rich Sosa back in the building, and today, as y'all can see by the looks of the title and the screen, today I'm gonna be bringing y'all the two-way facilitator build. Now, this one is actually gonna be very unique. Normally, I have made this build under the power forward and center position. Today, we actually found it under the point guard, and also this build is actually going to be able to get contact dunks at 99. So to anybody who decided to click on today's video, thank y'all so much for the amazing support. I truly appreciate y'all. But before we get a little bit further into the video, man, y'all already know what y'all need to do. Be sure to hit that sub button if you're new. And if you are looking to join the RGF family, go ahead and turn on post notifications. But then from there also, let's go ahead and hit 25 likes on this video. Y'all have been showing out, but let's go ahead and get into the video now. So as y'all can see, first we're gonna go ahead and put it under the point guard position. Now when it comes down to the pie chart, this is going to be the most crucial thing about the build in order to get the contact dunks, but also to be able to have some really elite defense. You want to go ahead and pick the pie chart that's going to be split right down the middle between the playmaking as well as the defensive. Now when it comes to the physical profile, this is really going to be optional. So I'm going to give y'all two different decisions to make. First, go ahead and consider the first one. The speed is really high, but the vertical, not my favorite. But if you go with the fourth one, we get a huge boost to our vertical, still get a 91 speed and a 90 acceleration. Throw in that gym rat badge, and that is where the magic is going to happen. So again, that is really something that y'all need to make up on your own mind. But when it comes down to these stats, y'all, I'm telling you, the build is only going to continue to get better. So when it comes down to the close shot, go ahead and put this to an 83. Driving layup, going to be maxed out. And then when it comes down to that standing dunk, max it out as well. Skip over the standing dunk, go ahead and put the post hook to a 68. And then now for the standing dunk, go ahead and put this up to 27, and that's going to give us 12 finishing badges, y'all. That's really a nice setup. 4 gold badges you could go with, or a couple of silvers. I'm telling you, this build is really unique, especially when you look into it. The shooting we're actually going to skip over because we want to be able to make this build the most versatile possible. So right now, for now, go ahead and skip over this category. Playmaking, all of it's going to be maxed out except for the post moves. That's going to be a 58. And then when it comes down to the defense, y'all, so from here, go ahead and max out your offensive rebound as well as your defensive block. Going to be maxed out as well. Steal, go ahead and put it all the way to a 91. Lateral quickness, we're maxing that out. Same exact thing with the perimeter D. And then when it comes down to the interior defense, if you want to, you can really use these last 6 remaining stats for any category that you want to put them into. Not really going to make a difference, but let's just go ahead and say you want to put it into your free throw. You definitely can do that. Or if you want to go ahead and put it into the mid-range or the three-pointer, it really comes down to you. But I see the free throw being the most effective because you could add boost, run with a teammate that has floor general, and then you're going to get an even bigger boost when it comes down to the free throw. That's just my opinion, but when it comes down to the body shape, you could go based off of your own preference. Define, burly, build, any of them. Now, when it comes down to this height, y'all, in order to get the contact dunks, what y'all want to go ahead and do is put this build at 6'7". Now, when it comes down to the weight, we're going to go ahead and put this build to 180 all the way to the lowest. And the wingspan right now, we're going to go ahead and max it out. But look, we are not finished yet. We still have to make adjustments on this build to get the actual two-way facilitator name. So we're going to go ahead and go to the main menu, change inside of the settings right here. You're going to go from the Imperial to the metric system. It's going to go ahead and be back right now. So again, right here, you're going to go into the settings, drop down to the section to where it says Imperial system, and change it to the metric system, y'all. Now from here, you're going to go back to the same exact build that we were just editing, and now as you can see, the wingspan changed to centimeters, the height is now in meters. So look, everything else on this build is going to remain the same, but when it comes down to the height, what you want to go ahead and do is be very specific with this build. So go with 2.02 meters, y'all. That's going to be exactly how you make this build. And if you change the setting from the settings that I just talked about going into the metric system, this is how it's going to look. So when it comes down to the weight, right here, you really want to go with somewhere between 83, 84, and 85. I feel like 84 is going to be perfect. And then when it comes down to the wingspan, max it out at 228. Now, that's going to be perfect, y'all. We're still going to be able to get the contact dunks when it comes down to the free throw. Let's go ahead and say you add boost. That's a 65. Run with a teammate that has floor general. That's a 69. And then on top of all that, you have got to add the boost that you get from takeover. With this build, I truly believe in the right hands, it's really going to be effective. Now, when it comes down to it though, for the defense, y'all, most of our stats are in the 80s except when it comes down to the block as well as the offensive rebound. But if you're running with a teammate that has defensive leader, this build is going to get a +4 to all of those stats, and everything that goes into it is going to be really good. And as you can see, we get the playmaking takeover with this build. Also going to be able to get the lockdown and then the slashing, y'all. I really like that we're actually able to get that playmaking takeover. Going to be able to break ankles in this build now. And as y'all can see, we have made a legit two-way facilitator. I love the comparisons. LaMelo Ball, Lonzo Ball, and then we got Penny Hardaway, y'all. Goated comparisons in my opinion for this build. But now let's just go ahead and check out what this build is actually going to be looking like once it comes down to the badge setup. I can't leave y'all hanging, and then from there we're going to be out of here. So when it comes down to the shooting, a couple badges that you can really consider, I would say catch and shoot, corner specialist, even hot zone hunter, or from there you can also go ahead and put on flexible release, ice and veins. All of these are going to be some really good choices to go from. It really just comes down to what you want to do. Now when it comes down to the badges for the finishing, first I'm going to go with gold contact finisher. A badge that I really like personally is going to be fancy footwork as well as slithery finisher. Now to help out your teammates, showtime is going to be the badge you want to run, but if you take it off, I would go with relentless finisher, or you could go with giant slayer and cross key score. Now let's go ahead and get into the defense. 22 badges that we're going to be able to work with. So from here, I'm going to go ahead and start off with the most important badges. We got to go with defensive leader, and then from there, intimidator is going to be right there with it. Now, with these last 14 remaining badges, you could consider some bronze or silver ones. I'm going to go with Hall of Fame clamps as well as rim protector. You could go ahead and throw on rebound chaser on Hall of Fame if you want to, but you can also change it up to chase down artist, interceptor, or honestly, even lightning reflexes is going to be another really good one. It really comes down to how you're going to be using this build, whether or not you're looking to play center on this build, and then on top of all that, depending on what your personal play style is. If you want to, you could also go with gold badges for interceptor and chase down artists, but I highly recommend putting them on bronze. I'm going to go with rebound chaser. That's a really good badge to go with, especially to help out on the board side. But now let's go ahead and get into the playmaking. So as you can see, we got 23 badges that we're going to be able to work with. The first ones, we got to go ahead and put on the ones that are going to help out us personally on the build. That's going to be handles for days as well as quick first step. Then from here, I'm going to go with stop and go, but honestly you don't need it. I would really choose tight handles over stop and go in my personal preference, but if you're looking to help out your teammates on a higher level, go with flashy passer, floor general, as well as dimer. However, if you want to break ankles on this build without takeover, go ahead and put on space creator. That badge works out a lot. Then from here, you could go with bronze unpluckable as well as Hall of Fame tight handles. And then with the very last badge that we're going to go with for Hall of Fame, I would decide between flashy passer as well as floor general. Now I'm going to go with bronze bailout or even silver. It really comes down to what your preference is, but that's the setup I'm going with: 12, 1, 23, and 22. Thank y'all so much to everybody who decided to click on today's video. I appreciate y'all having me in your day as well as you in mine. Just know that I got another banger dropping for y'all tomorrow, man. So y'all already know what y'all need to do. Be sure to hit that sub button if you're new to the RGF family. If you're looking to join, go ahead and let's get 25 likes on this banger, but also be sure to go ahead and turn on post notifications. And last but definitely not least, go ahead and share this video with your family and friends, y'all. Man, with all that being said, I got one last thing to say. Rich out.